Hey guys, there's been a lot of requests online for reviewing a 2020 Nissan Versa with a manual transmission, and that is what we have here today. Of course, the rims and the mud flaps do not come with it. That was my own design. Hate it or like it, it's up to you guys really. I just recently ceramic coated the car. It's got about 8,000 miles on it. Daily driver. Of course, the interior is pretty nice. Kind of get the front with a 5-speed manual. Get the back here. This is not really meant to be a super long video, just one where you guys can see it. I'm not going to really talk about how it's wider and longer and, you know, of course, lower to the ground and all that other stuff, the marketing stuff. This is just first impressions and things like that. So, give me a second here to get my head strap on, and we will jump into the car and take it for a drive. Alright, so now we're in the car. Get pretty good gas mileage. I'm at 41.6, but that's because I've been kind of driving it around city-wise. Everything's like where you expect it to be. Of course, your shifter's right here, manual climate control, and of course your infotainment center, or whatever you want to really call it. Everything's exactly where you expect it to be. It's a car that does car things. It's nothing special. It's just, you know, your basic econo box with a little bit of fun into it. Alright, I hope this angle is okay for you guys. So we'll go on a drive with the 5-speed manual here. There's two things I would not say I do not like about this car. One is there is a ton of rev-hang, so much so that whenever you shift up a gear, it actually increases the revs, which whenever you're trying to have fun is a little I guess you could say it's kind of annoying. Not really a big fan of it. Another thing is I wish it had a 6th gear, because if in like 5th gear in overdrive, if you're going 70, I mean, it just screams at like 3,500 RPM. It's not bad on gas mileage or anything else like that. It just it's a very short geared car, so it does not like to be, you know, strung out at high speeds like, you know, you would expect from a grand touring car such as like a 300ZX or a 350Z or 370Z, or something that has, you know, a lot of gears or long gears and things of the sorts like that, or, you know, a pretty high-end rear end or something along those lines. But just kind of take note of the amount of rev hang between each gears, really. See how long it takes for it to drop back down. You almost have to wait for it to kind of drop down. Now, whenever you turn the air conditioner on, it actually kind of helps draw it back down a little bit, but not by much. Car weighs about 2,600 pounds, so it's light, so you can kind of toss it around a little bit. For all this safety feature stuff that a lot of these newer cars have, they kind of weigh down the cars, you know, the thick pillars and things of the sorts like that. For 2,600 pounds, that's pretty decent. That's about as much as my 240SX, which weighs about 2,700 or so. Clutch is very easy. It's really not that difficult to drive daily. This is probably the most easiest clutch I've ever driven, or a manual car for that matter. See, we're at 60 miles an hour. Roll up these windows here. We're at 60 miles an hour, and we're, I don't know, about 60. It stays at about 2,800, almost 3,000 RPM. So it's buzzy. A lot of people would describe this car as a 90s kind of feel with all of the modern tech, which I would totally agree with that. It does very much feel like a 90s Econobox kind of throw-around car that you can have some fun with, that has a lot of safety features. Now, the safety features, I'm not going to get into that because I imagine that if you're looking at one of these cars, you probably have already seen all the marketing jargon and everything else like that. So I'm not going to really explain all that, but it's all this stuff that you would expect to be on a 2020, really. For a lot of people, they say that Nissan has a lot of additional features that manufacturers wouldn't really include on, you know, the lowest model they offer, this being the Nissan S with the 5-speed. Seats are pretty comfortable. They're not bad. I would say they kind of remind me of a 90s Accord seat, except for with way better lumbar support. They're very cushiony. If you're someone who likes really cushiony but yet firm seats that, you know, won't make your butt cheeks sore after a few hours of driving, this car's pretty good for that. A lot of people say that the steering's numb. Really, I don't really feel that. It's pretty smooth. A lot of people say you just point and direct it. Well, kinda, but isn't that with any steering wheel, really? But, you know, you can kind of get a feel for it. And, for example, I've kind of pushed this car a little bit hard here and there, and you know when to let off the accelerator. By no means is this a sports car. This is just a fun daily driver. Like, yeah, I wouldn't expect anyone to, you know, really think this is a sports car whatsoever. But for someone that owns sports cars and wants something that's gas saving and wants something that's fun, this would absolutely be a big choice. The thing that really drew me to it compared to all the other things and cars available out today is it has multi-port fuel injection, which means you don't get the carbon buildup. So we're at 65 right now, and it's hovering around 3,000 RPM. Let me take a left right here, and we'll kind of grill stuff burrito it, and see if we can, so you guys can get a little bit of that. I'm not gonna push it too hard, you know. I don't know. Say merging onto a highway, I guess. Rev-hang. More Rev-hang. So by no means is it fast, but you can have some fun with it. Remember, driving slow cars fast is way more funner. Got some curves coming up here. Very quiet interior. So if you guys like listening to music, I do. It's pretty quiet, and the engine's just buzzy enough to where you can hear when to change gears, and you can kind of almost feel when to change gears if you're really blasting the music. Some cars are so quiet that I don't even know when to change gears sometimes. I just look at the tachometer and end up slipping the turds out of the clutch. It makes me feel kind of bad. This video was just mainly just to kind of show you guys what the 5-speed was like. I would definitely take the 5-speed over the CVT any day. Don't even get me started on CVTs. I imagine if you're here, the reason why you're looking at this exact model is because of you don't want a CVT or something along those lines. So yeah, just I hope this makes your decision a little bit more easier. I might add a little bit more to this video. I might not really quite sure yet. But this was just kind of a quick kind of overview of, what to kind of expect whenever you get into this car. I got mine for relatively cheap. Nothing too crazy. So for a fun little economy car, I would definitely give it a 2 thumbs up. That is for sure. I have not had any quality issues, any sensor issues, anything that you would kind of expect from a newer car that's being produced by Nissan, Toyota, Honda, things of the sorts like that. I know there's a lot of issues with oil dilution and the direct injection stuff, and a lot of the sensors and things of the sort. So that's the reason why I got this car, was because it was less doodads means less to break, and that's the reason why I kind of got drawn to this car. If you're thinking about like the Corolla with the 6-speed, or the Accord with the 6-speed, of course, also, that actually has the Civic Type R engine. Well, it's a detuned part of it anyways, the 2.0 one. This is kind of the same area I was in too, and ultimately, like I said, what drove me to this car is that it has the HR16DE in it, which I know several people that have a stupid amount of miles on the thing, probably like 240,000 plus, and it's just been basic maintenance. And with the multi-port fuel injection and with it being manual, I do not see it being an issue drivetrain wise, not really necessarily accessory wise and components wise, giving me any reliability problems. But yeah, can I have a hell yeah? A hell yeah.